in case I was wondering if we could record your presentation.
Yeah, surely. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, and of course, we will be sending it to you as well.
Thank you, thank you. I was actually wondering whether I could record it from my side or not.
Okay, so not to worry, I will record it.
Oh, thank you so much.
I will record it because we need to start, even though Ron is here.
Okay.
Because we are running out of time, we need to keep a tight. We are under a tight schedule.
Yeah, surely.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so welcome back on the 28th Annual International Conference of TESOL Macedonia Thrace. Today, this year's title is To TESOL or Not TESOL, Teachers at the Helm of CPD. And our afternoon presenter is Mr. Hassan Ahmed Mohammed, who is an MA CELTA teacher. He's a teacher, a researcher, and a mentor at the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And his presentation is about fine-tuning our notions and using technology for our professional advancement. So the floor is yours. We are all ears.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the lovely introduction. And I'm hoping to create some kind of rewarding impact, in the sense that the topic involves so much. It talks about our notions of using technology, and technology is such a wide field, and our professional advancement is itself it's a lifelong process. It involves too many things, but I'm going to focus more on the technological integration, its applications without much impediments or barriers, and how to maximize the efficacy of our teaching in any context that because 21st century will definitely demand a lot more from we educators and teachers, in the sense that we are knee deep into technological barrage of it's an onslaught on all of us, and those who will be left behind will be actually left behind. So we can't really afford to ignore or to remain immune from this alarming technological advancements that are knocking the door. If each person has natural gifts, and of course all our students have their own innate talents, and the true nature of education actually involves awakening of those deeper senses or dormant talents by inviting and then blessing of the inner genius. I mean, every child is unique, every student is unique, and we have to tap the inner genius. And every young person has the gift of living a unique life in his own ways. So we have to respect the spirit of each young person. If you could spend a couple of seconds on reading this. This tells us how we as teachers do not keep abreast of what's happening, and do not keep learning, and don't strive to bring out the best what's around or prevalent, we would be failing in our obligations. So we're not here just to load their minds. In fact, we're here to quicken them. So this loading is all about the content and the traditional instructions, material that we bombard them with, and some of the learners, they have their own learning styles, and they find it really intimidating in one sort. So we have to be empathetic towards them. We have to know that they are also, endowed with infinite talents of their own. In fact, we teachers, we fail to grab the whole idea of around our heads that we are turning them to some nebulous, uncertain future won't work. We need to specify, design, and reshape their future, because we are a part of their journey. It's not our journey. We are simply a facilitator, actually a coordinator, or a conductor, or whatever role we are supposed to put in. But we will have to undergo our own training. And what is really, it can be perplexing and alarming, because the rise of this artificial intelligence that my colleague Ron is too aware. In fact, I have been keeping an eye on all of these, it's a plethora of, it's like a salvo, one after the other. We aren't prepared for, digesting or even swallowing these kind of, things that's coming. And within a couple of months, I have been keeping track of, but actually I failed to keep track of, because I'm coming to how fast, how alarming, and how, this world, the whole world is changing and is going to be altered. In fact, the chat GPT heralds an intellectual revolution. In fact, some people are of the opinion that this is the most revolutionary thing that has knocked our door, and is going to either keep the things haywire, things will go awry. If you don't keep pacing with, or trying to unlearn things. So this is a new start of enlightenment, maybe with some pitfalls and some of the oddities, but it's happening. And it's like the first Bible printed that humanity had found itself to reshape it, and the entire education world got enlightened. So this artificial intelligence, this OpenAI, this is an open source, and it's released by the company, but it's also paid like $20 for. So I'm going to talk a lot more about, at length, because this is how it comes into scene. As a practitioner, educator, or as a teacher, or even as learners, they have to fall in line. So we cannot turn a blind eye to what's happening from this GPT 3.5 was itself a bombshell. Now we're coming to GPT 4, with likely to have an audio, video, and images and text also to be embedded in the real time. And we have some chatbots coming, like education chatbots, that are going to be handy at our disposal as a teacher, as an educator, and also at the hands of our learners, because they would be able to save a lot of time and energy, because it's a reflex of a button, and it does the things with lightning speed. In fact, it leaves me stunned and amazed the kind of quality of product it gives. Sometimes maybe repetitive, it's maybe a bit bland, but it is. It's a big thing to come. I have been looking at certain ways of studies how to optimize the utilization application of this, and I come across some of the techniques, like if we add some of these artificial intelligence articles and blogs, and keep an eye on those. And these are some of the prompts, the usual prompts that can really improve not only the output of our learners, but we can also tweak our exercises, whether it's grammatical, or whether it's syntactical or structural or writing. So this is just a sample of some of the prompts that could really help the chatbot work wonderfully well for all of us. Gaming capacity company has uh, uh, been using this for a while. In fact, we have been using technology for altogether different abilities and domain. Now, this one is like it has left everything behind, and all the world governments, they are trying to come up with some of the safeguards, because if it's let loose without having to go for some data privacy or plagiarism sort of things, it's going to wreak havoc in the entire community. And some of the institutions are all out for banning this, where others are all out for welcoming this. That's the scenario where we really don't know. It's like we're in a fix. The whole world is in a fix. And we educators have to be more mindful. Like these, some of the jobs that are likely to disappear because they can be done more robustly in a better way than we humans can do. Like this girl, this world's first robot lawyer, gets sued for practicing law without license in the U.S. This guy, I mean, this appears to be, or this is much more smarter and knows more of the laws and pros and cons of case studies than the actual lawyer. And in fact, one of the companies, they have appointed CEOs, and you see the rate. GPT-4 beats 90% of lawyers trying to pass the bar. It's not only the bar council exams, also there are other exams like, it could be IELTS, it could be IGCSE, it could be one of the toughest exams that humans can ever be, confronted with. And in the biological field, scientific field, also there are exams like we have, like in my part of the world, we have one of the toughest exams called, civil services exams. It has been done wonderfully well with all those questionnaires. It's almost, the score is 80 to 90%. So we have most of the companies vying in this field, and ChatGPT could be the fastest growing app in the world, but it has its own competition now. After Microsoft, Bing, and Google's Bard AI, Anthropic, which was founded by former OpenAI employees, has launched a new AI chatbot to rival ChatGPT. And this is, the company claimed that Claude is easier to converse with. It can be more steerable. It can play much easily, much less likely to produce human harmful output. That means safer than. I'm not sure whether how safe or how competitive, but this is touted to be. It's pretty well and has the same functions as ChatGPT, and it can help with use cases including summarization, search results, and just have a look. Some of the advancement that ChatGPT 3, the number, the zeros, and then ChatGPT is like hundreds of times much more robust than, and it's widely feared that they might come in the future. It's very likely that we could have singularity state. The singularity is where it can rival our human brains, and it will be as robust, or it can do the jobs as brilliantly as a genius, or as the best of the minds that we have come across. Now, what are the limitations of this ChatGPT that really surrounds the whole of the skepticism about? This may occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions, could be biased content. The serious limitation of it could be, that's what I can perceive, is that it doesn't know much about the knowledge of the world and events after 2021. That means we have something to go for previous, latest. So because it works on the large input model that they have their hands in the lab. What is good about some of the is, like, I have got this chat PDF, This is a wonderful PDF. This is a tool that enables users to interact with their PDF documents. And it seems like if you are talking to a human, because it works, it analyzes, it creates a semantic index, even hundreds of pages of the PDF can summarize or give you, and it takes you to the page you want to. It could be relevant paragraphs, and also it can give you things in the tabular format. It can give you data stored in there, and it could jump from, so quickly. You don't have to delve, abysmal depth of the whole text will be in front of you with the lightning speed. And this could be a wonderful tool in the hands of our learners if you could utilize it to the fullest of its capabilities. You can say the images, the numbers, the sounds and all these. By next week, you will be able to use artificial intelligence to write a movie script, and it's actually happening. In fact, some of the guys are creating movie. Actually, last night I saw a movie. I thought it's a real movie. In fact, that was done by this GPT and 4. It was like US and UK. Russia and all. They are at war, and in this space they're fighting the war, and it sounded so real that I couldn't believe that this could be done by an artificial intelligence. So this Bing is an all-out, and it's pumping billions of dollars now, and it's not going to be left far behind. Apart from Google, and Google hegemony is going to be challenged by this Bing search engine because it's all out. It's no longer unhinged, and we can see that it can, sometimes what we call hallucinate. That means gives you faulty information, and if you want to. And in order to tackle with this hallucination thing, or perplexity, we call it perplexity or blandness or repetitive responses. So AI-powered Bing chat gains 3 distinct personalities. These 3 distinct personalities will give you 3 distinct quality or distinctions of the responses. One could be exact, one could be. So what are those? Just have a look. If you're searching for a creative way to reach top shelves warehouse, this is one. It could be searching for creative way to reach, what are the 3 things? It can be giving you more exact way of doing it. What is safest to reach the top shelf of the warehouse? It could have more creative way of finding the thing. It could be more balanced, and it could be more precise. So these are 3 levels, we call them levels of the maturity or the robustness or the kind of advancement that they're coming up with. So if you're really creative, you can look for creative aspects of things. If you really want something to be balanced, you can ask the chatbot to be more balanced, and it could be more precise also. So that way it's going to. Now I have a sample of this, how can we chat with the PDF. Now look how PDF size, it could be 200 pages, up to 200 pages in fact. So 200 pages is a big document for a PDF file, So and it's simply because of the high demand they are not raising this. So no wonder that it could be the whole of the book or manuscript could be turned into this PDF, and we could chat with this. This is the age of the AI revolution. Intelligence will be free and ubiquitous soon. Restructuring our society, and how? With chat PDF, your documents are becoming intelligent. How is it becoming intelligent? You just talk to your PDF. It's like talking to humans, and they understand what you're looking for. They will tell you all about the content which is inside, and what is useful for. It can understand the images in PDF. It might struggle with questions that require understanding more than a few paragraphs at the same time. You can draw parallels, draw the analysis. You can have the tabular distinctions. You can go to the first, the last, the middle one. It can try talking to manuals, essays, legal contracts, legal contracts are really, really lengthy documents, and sometimes we find, so, and how does it work? It also is data is saved in secure cloud storage and deleted after 7 days. So this is a wonderful advancement, and I really welcome this. Now, how it all began, and if some people are really not sure about how this works, this ChatGPT actually uses this is ChatGPT's secret sauce. The basic idea is to take a large language model with a tendency to spit out anything it wants. The term spit out is like spontaneous, instantaneously. In this case, ChatGPT is 3.5 and tuned it by teaching it what kinds of responses human use actually prefers. So what can Pocket AI can do for you? These are some of the cases in point, like it can write me an email. You just give the prompt of apology, could be some invitation, could be some, so how quick it writes for you. It writes a very well balanced, reasonably, fairly, grammatically correct email. Science questions can answer. It can write a poem. It can summarize the text. It could, crack jokes for you. It could write an essay for you. It can give a good recipe. In fact, there was experiment done. Some of the stuff from the fridge was showed to ChatGPT and asked what can it cook, and it really came up with some of the good fine ingredients and the cooking recipe. It can also code. So the whole world. It's like the whole world. It's the endless. I can keep on going. But the thing is, as educators and teachers, what does it imply, and what are the ramifications of this kind of brilliant education tool at our hands? And it's all free and open to the whole world. So we as evaluators, we are as change agents actually. So we have to be on guard. We have to be as a licensure, or as a we have to do the policing thing. We have to police our learners, and we have to train them how not to or where to stop. So learning experts, seekers of feedback into which are constantly engaged with dialogue and challenges. So John Hattie's landmark visible learning research concluded that one of the most important influences on student achievement is how teachers think about learning in their own role. So we need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's going to be the cycle for us, because we have been fantastic with our traditional mode of teaching and all that, but that's not going to work. In fact, with this kind of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, natural language, and we have, so it's all embedded and inside. This is what it shows that how complicated this world, world of artificial intelligence. So millions of users already, and it has left the whole world gasping. Actually, Facebook took 10 months to have 1 billion, and now this is within months. It has multi-million users. ChatGPT. So this is how it does. How it exhibits similar capabilities, and it could work on photographs, diagrams, screenshots. So all of the, even handwritten, you just upload, and it tries to read, and it tries to ascertain what is inside them. So actually, it also presents some new risks due to increased capability. A new risk could be because it collects a lot of data. Collection and NLP tasks exceeds the vast majority of reported state-of-the-art system, which often include task-specific fine-tuning. And it also has some sort of safety and alignment issues, and it's being deployed as an open source now. There will be restrictions, and all the governments and world bodies are trying to limit its usage and trying to make it safer. So what are the risks and mitigation? How can we deal with those risks? I would like you to spend a minute in order to how to we can have both the rewarding and the fruitful ramifications, and what are the risks and mitigation involved in it. like we engage over 50 experts from domains, like experientially, or in order to make experiments. The 50 experts were called from all kinds of all fields, like cybersecurity, biorisk, international security, to test the models. And actually, they're finding specifically enabled us to test model behavior. This is what this the guy who came up with this ChatGPT 3.5 and 4 has to say, because they are in contact regularly, and they actually require more of the niche expertise to evaluate as well as assess the risks that will become relevant. Because once we are users and giving the feedbacks, it's trying to toy with those ideas and recommendations, and it's getting to learn much better, and it's improving on a daily basis actually. So some of the handicaps, limitations of even GPT-4 could be like, it's still not fully reliable. I mean, it still has hallucinates, facts, and makes reasoning errors. So we need to be really careful while using the inputs and the outputs. Language model outputs, particularly higher stake risk. Like if you ask them how to create some sort of hazardous chemicals, they'll give you all the ways of. So it could be a human review and granting additional context, avoiding high stakes use altogether. So there is a need of a world platform where all the policyholders or stakeholders should join hands and come up with the kind of robust, because it's spanning 57 subjects. I mean, see the kind of reach that this has into a variety of languages using Azure Translate. So many existing ML benchmarks written in English. In fact, to gain an initial understanding of TVD capability in other languages, the translation was done. The benchmark was to generate a suite of multiple choice problems spanning 57 subjects into a variety of languages using Azure Translate. So it does a translation job, even the text to speech and speech to text and translation jobs, so brilliantly. So of course, the GPT-4 has outperforms the English language performers. So we as English language practitioners, we have more, greater and cardinal role to play with the usage. Now you have to talk to the GPT in a friendly and conducive and congenial way. So because it interacts with the humans in a human way, it has been trained as such that it won't, it has its own emotional baggages and all. And if you tease it or try to inject with certain kind of diabolical statements or some sort of filthy things, or it spits it back. So we have some of the reservations, like this kind of output is going to help you get better results, because if we try to tweak some of our responses, I would say tweaking, maybe the emotional words, maybe the emotional intelligence, or the lexis, or kind of context, we alter the context and we try to get to regenerate the things, and it's professional manner with a serious empathetic, or it can also have authoritative kind of approach. Like if you say being an authoritative, being a casual, being funny, being like it assumes the role of, as the input goes into its playground. So if you enter the documents, the diagram, the charts and all. So obviously, GPT this is a pre-trained, and it's pre-trained transformer, because it has been exposed to the whole world of data in the real sense. So its capacities become broader, and God knows within the next 6 months or a year, or how it's going to alter its role, and in capability is exceedingly high, and we will have to redefine human knowledge, in fact. and these changes are getting accelerated with the lightning speed, and our reality may not match because our classrooms are still learner centered, traditional mode of, I mean, the whole world is not like going gaga over this kind of technological advancement. We live in a world where I mean, this digitizations or digital world is it can be alien to many parts. So we need to reorganize the politics and society as a whole so that larger majority of the people have. So as an individual, as a teacher, what are our values? In fact, I would like to have a look on these values. I mean, why do I teach? In fact, if you answer these questions and try reflecting and try to be efficacious in your practices, like what motivates me to learn about the subject, what do I expect to be the outcomes of teaching, what is the kind of student-teacher relationship I try to achieve. This is very important. In fact, I was, you know, I attended one of the sessions where it was all about well-being. Then the other one was emotive words and emotive lexis and how emotional words play out in making a bond and rapport building, and how do I know when I have taught successfully. Now, what are the yardsticks or the benchmark where we can measure our own effectiveness in our teaching, and what habits, attitudes, methods mark my most successful teaching achievement? What values do I impart to my students? I'm like, you know, they cannot have a more or less unethical lifestyle, you know, as long as we associate with them. Part of the teaching job as a teacher is also to inculcate good habits, good values, good ethics, and also to get along well with their own, you know, their ethics, you know. I mean, our learners, especially adult learners, they have their own ethics. And what themes pervades my teaching? So these are some of the pertinent questions that we always we need to keep asking. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. I reckon that you guys, you know, would make sense out of it. That if you continue looking at the shore, we can never swim. In fact, so these shores, I would call them as our traditional approaches, traditional classrooms where we usually don't depart, and we are resistant to all the changes, and we don't welcome whatever comes our way, especially the you know, we call them you know, fossilized teaching community. They refuse to budge, and they don't refine their own practices. This is you know, one of the website called ChatGPT has set the world on fire in a matter of months, raising new questions. Now, this is the kind of conversation that's going on. See, yes, I'm sure. Please stop asking the same question. I mean, if you're repetitive and you try, you know, going for some sort of sarcasm, some sort of snarled attacks on them, you will get this kind of response. Because the name of the chatbot was Sydney, but it was somehow blurted out, and then it apologized for not knowing the topic and all that. So as educators, we have plenty of educational tools, brilliant tools. To name a few, like this could be the Flipgrid for assessment, collaboration you teach, content creation, word clouds. In fact, I'm aghast at the kind of the large range of free applications that are available online. And apart from this OpenAI, that have already brought hundreds and thousands of applications and converting all sorts of, I mean, it's across the domains. WordWall is a good class management, and these are the traditional online. It's not that we teachers have not been, you know, fiddling with technology. We have been doing fine, but we have to keep abreast of the newcomers in the field, you know. So, what I was talking about, the fear of attaining this singularity state, this is the real, you know, this is going to be, you know, apocalypse, because once this AI singularity is achieved, the first defined singularity is a point when AI surpasses human intelligence, leading to rapid exponential advancement in technology. Exponential means there won't be any end of it. Like it could play chess with you, and we have virtual reality, augmented reality, we have mixed reality, we have almost the entire universe is turned into metaverse by Facebook. So this and the second refers to the belief that the technology will be able to improve itself. That means it can come up with its own codings, and that's what its GPT is doing. So it's improving its own codes. It's also coming up with newer codes. It's fixing its own problems. It doesn't have to seek any human interventions for coding, recoding, refining, and also executing these codes. So human ability to understand and predict, that's going to be seriously impeded with this kind of advancement that's likely in the future. So I would like you guys to think and ponder over whether this kind of technology is really disruptive, or is it promising for people like us who struggle in our classrooms on a daily basis with our learners. So it could be simply a hype for us. It comes and goes. It disrupts our usual fashions of teaching, and then we simply keep vying and looking at those others who are quite better at those kind of technological ammunitions. I would say this kind of ammunitions, and such I like metaverse. I like crypto, Web3, generative AI tools, stable diffusion, and of course ChatGPT are poised to have tremendous, possibly revolutionary impacts. So I'm not so pessimistic about the disruptive nature of this, because of course we humans are endowed with the innateness to handle and to use these tools to the best of our abilities and harness them. Actually, the whole idea is how to harness this. It's a kind of new energy in the hands of we teachers, and we will stop. We won't stop short of using them for our own benefits, our own learners' benefit. So instead of giving more shocks about, I want the teachers and all the entire educators, the entire community to simply have a relook, rethink, and in fact it's a sort of upgrading ourselves. So we have to invest more our own CPD, a continuous professional development, than pointing fingers at what's happening around, because we cannot stop. These are uncontrollables, I'll say, because it's not just this AI ChatGPT. It's Bing, it's Microsoft, and we have Alphabet, Google. Like once there's
we have
a big
10 minutes.
Okay,
Sorry
thank you.
for the disruption.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to wind up on time, hopefully. So Alphabet Incorporation's 100 billion market value Wednesday just lost simply because they introduced a new chatbot, and that gave an inaccurate information. It's like it was in a professional video series, and the company even failed to dazzle. In fact, feeding worry that the Google parent is losing ground to rival. So obviously Google has been dominating the market for 25 years now, so there will be new players. So this buzz is going to stay. It's not. It could be really human things. We could have poems written by or developed by and computers codes and pictures and our it could be deep fake. What I'm afraid of or fear the most is deep fake culture, where most of the images are being copied, and that's coming to impersonate the people. Tomorrow, our students might clone us and go for a deep fake and do pranks with them. So I would like to mention this, the reaction, the way Noam Chomsky thinks over these kind of technological interventions. On ChatGPT, he is not so. He says it's basically high-tech plagiarism and a way of avoiding learning. So he is of the view that this makes our task easier in copying, and we have been doing it. And we have been anti-plagiarism check. Even for AI, we have a zero bot that was developed to check on the plagiarism by. But the kind of terminology that's being used is and I would call it like AI plagiarism. Like it's plagiarism from AI now. So Microsoft is well into it, and it's coming with its own version of Copilot, and some of the astonishing capability of artificial intelligence. You could say that these are some of the key areas and the bigger aspects of its revolutionary impact on all the spheres of the humankind could be this. It's a pretty long, capabilities. Like it can learn faster than humans. It can learn algorithm. It can, facial recognition technology is already on the move at airports, and it has surprised human accuracy in identifying face. You could go wrong, but this technology can't. AI can also create art, the kind of art which can be mistaken to be done by one of the most seasoned artists and painters. Even the musicians are being challenged, because it can create music, it can create lyrics, and it can come up with some of the poetry that can be indistinguishable from works created. That means you can hardly distinguish what is ageism or what is the human. And it can work for multiple languages, understand, process multiple languages. It can work and predict diseases. It can, of course, autopiloting drivers, Tesla Motors, and the whole world is coming after autopiloting. And a time will come when we don't have to even be behind the wheels. Where the cars would navigate its roads, highway, and AI has defeated human champions in complex games like chess, Go, and poker. It can also recognize emotions. That's where we are really endangered. Human emotions from facial expression, voice, and body language. It can write news articles, blogs, summaries, sports, accuracy, with the kind of accuracy that we looking for in our average 70 to 80% graders. AI can diagnose medical conditions also. It can go for medical resonation with the best resolutions. So some of this concerting limitations here are the areas where we humans have to play our roles very effectively. It doesn't have common sense, so it can lack the ability to understand, apply common sense knowledge, and it can create, but it's a limited creativity. If you ask him to create 5 times, maybe identical, and it will be repetitive. So, and it obviously depends on data. So if it's a loss of data, will make it redundant, important in fact. And it's of course vulnerable to biases, because most of the you can say chatbots, they had women voices and we have regular voices. They tend to be women's voices, leading to unfair, inaccurate outcomes. And some of the abstract concepts may be really challenging for AI, because it may not understand those concepts still, because it involves nuanced languages. Probably it could be eschatology, it could be religious philosophy, spiritualism, and those kind of abstract things in philosophy. So it has limited.
We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes.
Okay, so it has its own limitations, and it is doing wonderfully well with some of the AI tool for writers. We can use these AI tools writing. So this shows how the whole world of this, AI involved gamifications, persistent computing, census, bigger. I mean, the whole world is Internet things, and we are surrounded by. So there's no escape. We cannot leave immunized from this 5th generation AI technology. So, but what would work for us is like TPAP. We can substitute, augment. We can go for pedagogical content, knowledge. We can replace technological, our content with technology content, and we can also have some of the competences like John Moran is very transversal competences that's for the future. So obviously, I keep quoting these philosophers, because they say that there is a relative advantage of like education technology, but we have to vary. We have to understand the advantage of new methods over the old one. We shouldn't ape we have to look for those 4 C's, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, communication, all that. So these are some tools for they can replace on our traditional methods of like summer model. This is the best model, and Bloom's taxonomy. They can like redefinitions, modification, augmentations. That's what we are doing. In fact, while we're using all the technical tools, they can design, develop, integrate digital learning experiences.
Well,
So-
thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have to close the room because we need to transfer to room 1 for Dr. Moraine's speech. Once again, Mr. Mohammed Hassin Ahmed, it was a great honor meeting you. Excuse me, and listening to your fantastic presentation. Tons of valuable input. Once again, thank you. See you in room 1.
You're welcome, all of you. Thank you very much for being a patient listener. I had to say so much, so that's why I had to be a bit expedient and Russian.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.